Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are watching our coverage of ECAC Collegiate Valorant Win. Boise State is looking to try to pick up a win tonight against Suny Poly, listed as the Wildcats Valorant on the ECAC site. And the two teams going up against tonight have the same record because of the bracket. And so this should be a very, very even, very, very interesting matchup. I am your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me tonight to call all of the action is Brenner Bear Ladd. So what are the stakes going into this, Brenner, for two teams that have the exact same 2-1 record right now?
It's definitely to get the advantage and continue on in this tournament, having a close to undefeated win rate for sure. I mean, it's ideal to stay undefeated, but nobody is perfect in this world. So ideally going into this both being 2-1, you want to try to get that to a 3-1 rather than dropping down to a 2-2, which allows you to fight, the harder opponents and improve your team skills. So going into this match, I definitely expect these teams to be on their A game because they want to continue maybe even a possible win streak if they started off the season with losing a match.
And there is a 5-way tie for first place right now, and those would be the teams with the undefeated record currently. So it would be huge if you could be one of the teams that broke the 14-way tie that Boise State is currently in for about third place if everybody wasn't currently tied. But, I mean, this is what we expect to see at the beginning of the season. What are the ways in Valorant that you can find yourself at, win games and put yourself in a better place?
Same thing we talk about in Overwatch. It's going to come down to team play above all else. The individual skill can take you so far, but at the end of the day, Valorant is a team game. You need to be able to rely on your 4 other teammates to protect your rear, carry the spike, get planted on the ground, and scout it out, provide smokes, even get a couple eliminations so you don't have to just pull an ace out of your back pocket every single round. And as we've seen from past matches, these matches can go on very long. So having a reliable team that you can work with, have rotation strategies, and a consistent plan with can definitely make you go the distance. So I expect that coming out for Boise State tonight, that it's going to be very key for things like what we talk about here, dox keys of sweaty columns, because these teams need to be on their A game, especially if they want to break that 14-way tie you just mentioned.
And some teams that Boise State and everybody else in the league, some keys to the game that will definitely help them as they're attempting to do this. In Valorant, it's to focus angles and flank, know your win condition, count cards and call abilities, and to click heads. And Doc's keys to the game are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And in Valorant, we've seen a lot of flanking go pretty 50-50. You have to be prepared when you flank. You have to know where they're at, and you have to make sure that you're not outnumbered. Can you tell us how to set up a successful flank, Brenner?
It's definitely going to be pushing the angles where they aren't looking. So a lot of the times when a team is pushing far ahead and trying to get to that bomb site, as fast as possible, or trying to be slow and methodical and try to mind game the enemy team of, all right, maybe we're going to go for A, maybe we're going to go for B, and sometimes even C if we're on the right map. So it's definitely going to be how they approach it. If they're just going to go straight into a bum rush and say, all right, we're all charging A, and then the enemy team's trying to set up that flank, it's where you want to try to cover your rear. And in a 5v5, you can do that with, 3 push, 2 cover in the rear and just hang back. That's why we see a lot of teams have a Jet that is a sniper, because she will hang back. But Jet has the movement to where if she gets flanked, she can quickly dash out and try to turn around and get the refrag.
And there's also a lot of benefits to having a Jet in terms of team wiping with their ultimate. And another agent that we see a lot of is Sage. Explain the utility that Sage brings to the table here.
Yeah, so we see Sage a lot of the times in order to cut off sidelines and get the spike plant down. We saw that in a lot of our previous matches. It is a strat that both teams like to utilize, of where they will throw up the wall, get the spike plant down, and before the wall's even destroyed, maybe throw down her utility of the slow to prevent the bomb being defused. And even if they can't get away if you try to rush them as they're defusing, which is where again, mind games come in. That's such a strong key piece of Valorant of, all right, are they going to defuse? Are they going to try to push me while I'm defending the spike once it gets planted? So Sage can definitely be a huge game changer, not to even mention her ult with the res, which getting +1 in a fight from resing a single teammate can definitely swing the match in your favor.
You can go potentially from 3 to 4, which is a relatively even matchup, to 3 to 5. And it does look like we are going to go ahead and get into the game here. And what can you tell us about strats on this map?
Yeah, so this is a map that we have actually seen quite often from our Boise State team. It's something that they have definitely practiced a lot. So going into it, it's going to be a ton of these indoor hallways where a lot of these early games is where Boise State can take the lead. We know Boise State has a fantastic early game with their pistol rounds. Throw in these close corridor shotguns where you're turning the corners, and that's where things like the super shorty are going to come in handy because, you know, getting a possible 1 or 2 shot kill can just make the difference. And this is a map we have also seen a lot of that Sage and Chamber usage, because once they get set up on B and they try to go for the plant, wall off that long side and throw down a smoke, get the spike plant down and retreat, that's where we see a lot of points of contention and where we got our infamous 32 long rounds. This is the same map, so this is a return that Boise State should be feeling very comfortable on.
And Boise State, just in general, is comfortable on this map, so it might be just the secret weapon Boise State needs to break this team that has the same record as them going into it. What agents are you expecting to come out with both sides here going in?
I mean, like I stated at the beginning, it's definitely going to be the Sage for that wall in order to get the plant down. And as we're already jumping into it, we can already see the Chamber, which is the next one I was going to mention, because he has that built-in sniper that allows him to clear a lot of those long sight lines and hold back from a much safer, you know, in a corner position. And also the Viper is something that has just been very strong in this meta. In almost every map she has played, just because she can control the visibility so strongly that if she has high ground, throws down her smoke screen, no one can see her, but she can see everybody else. Also, we're going to see the Reyna come back, as well as the Asha, two agents that we were talking about before the stream of both. They look very similar, but their kits are vastly different, which is why we see so many teams pick them. And the return of the Sova from both sides. These teams are going to be for a very close matchup.
And the Viper is somebody in this meta that just brings a lot of utility in terms of denying the enemy team the ability to do what they want to do. Sky's also similar to that, as we see that agent popping up over there, kind of considering it. It looks like because that flash is huge, as well as her ult can get a lot of information on the enemy team, which is always super, super critical in Valorant, especially if you're trying to flank or looking for the last couple members that might be trying to get the drop on you. As we do a little bit of hero shuffling around, people decide who they're going to be, and it does look like there will only be one Sage coming up, which sometimes can be a very determinant matchup if she can get that res online.
Yeah, it's all going to be fought over on that A site. You know, they push right through mid and try to hold that corner. We see it again and again here on Bind. And also, if we get to a map 2, it's going to be Haven. So these maps are at least predetermined. So these teams know what they're going to be heading into, which is a nice change of pace, because normally from the Overwatch, it's loser picks. So this is a very interesting change. But starting off with these early econ rounds, this is where we're going to see Boise succeed, as they've done so many times. The early game is where they take that lead. But once each side has, you know, a good economy build-up, has their preferred guns, that's where we can see that 50-50 and maybe even sway in the other enemy's side. But as we can look how these set up, Boise State is over on the red, so they will be attacking first. Looks like they're going to go for a heavy mid push with 3 members already lined up to go straight for A. This is their go-to strat for Bind.
And it looks like the defenders are spreading out as well between the 2 points. It looks like that 3-2 split that you were just talking about here, as both teams set up and try to see what they can do. And this first round, nobody has anything. So this first round is really just a who has better mechanical skill and who has better movement going into this initially.
Yeah, it's all going to be sticking to those classic ghosts, but Dream kicking things very fast.
Oh my gosh. Dreammaker's just going to go ahead and pop off with that double kill in the initial fight, leaving Suny Poly at 3 to Boise State's 5. Now make that 3 to 4, 2 to 4. Balance still in Boise State's favor as they're up 2, and that spike is going to go ahead and get planted down as the members try to find each other. Now it's 2 to 3. Still a winnable matchup for Suny Poly here, as team members are looking around, trying not to peek corners because they know that this is a full engagement. Everybody's waiting for them to do something else. And it looks like J-Bag is trying to get the angle here on the 2 remaining members of Suny Poly.
Yeah, of course. Curse of any FPS as soon as they make that rotation is when you barely flick and not able to secure the kill. But J-Bag gets a 2-piece.
Nice! That's exactly what they were looking for. They were patient. They waited for it. And Boise State's going to take that first round. And with 3 members surviving, that puts them in a good position to go this next round.
Yeah, they rushed that first point very quickly and definitely got Suny Poly off balance there, as only 2 members were remaining. But very surprised that J-Bag closed that out with a 2-piece so back-to-back. They must have both gone for the bum rush through that hallway, and just J-Bag held that angle. But it's the perk of being the defenders and why Boise State getting so aggressive on that point that they became the defenders getting the spike down. And now with the econ advantage, all of the Spectres are going to be coming out.
And Suny Poly is a little bit down here going into the second round, but honestly, just a single round of only 3 members surviving isn't too terrible to try to go up against here. However, Boise State, if they continue to have rounds like that, can just kind of snowball this and not give Suny Poly any opportunity to catch up to them.
Yeah, so we can see here Chamber using his abilities, trying to scout out, is able to find at least one with the help of his handy-dandy Sheriff, but will end up giving up as Boise State's once again looking for that A push. Having that Sage allows them to throw up that wall and get the spike plant down so much quicker. And 4 members of Suny Poly over on B means Boise State should be able to take this very quickly. They already have it smoked out. They just got to get the spike plant. Even the spray and pray through the smoke. Dream not able to get a double this time around, or at least not yet.
Not yet, as they're camping that other high ground, expecting the members of Suny Poly to come down from there. It looks like that smoke's going to go down just to block the sightlines. And J-Bag with first blood, but then picking up on Andrew, and then Peach, Panda, Jabald, and Ray are all going to get eliminations, leaving Suny Poly at 2 to Boise State's 3. Still a winnable matchup for Suny Poly, but definitely sketchy with how low those health bars are. One of the members is going to go down. Ray's going to go down to Dreammaker there, get that elimination that we were talking about. And Shells is just trying to wait out the last remaining member of Suny Poly here, as Boise State is still at 3.
Yeah, so it seems that they're simply just going to save the econ, so now the members of Boise State have to run and just not get destroyed by the spike so they don't lose their weapons. So maintaining 3 out of all their members. Poro does end up falling to the spike,
oh,
so
no.
Suny Poly has lost all their econ. It's a hard loss, but I believe they were also just saving that round, so now the Phantoms and Vandals are going to come out.
That's really unfortunate, not trying to run away from the enemy team just to get got by the spike there, but that is why that is there, giving you more than one thing that you have to be careful of, as Suny Poly is going to still stay at 0 with Boise State at 2 as we go into this next phase. And Boise State is looking pretty good to try to snowball this and get they're buying some weapons that they want here as we go into this next round. And Suny Poly might just have to save this round and see what they can do next round.
Yeah, they have the air advantage. As we can see Andrew getting that first blood. It seems Boise State finally decided to go for a different sideline push, and it seems that Suny Poly has finally been prepared for it as they're up 1.
Both members on all sides just trying to look for each other, see if they can find each other. Panda's going to go ahead and get out of there, which is 100% respectable. That Viper wall is going to be a thorn in both team sides, and it's going to go down, giving some visibility to both sides here.
Yeah, it's just going to be using all silence that they can. Viper is going to pick up 1, but get traded out. Quick back to forth as the solo scout.
Boise State now just has 1 remaining against the 4 members of Suny Poly, and at this point, you've just got to try and see what you can do, which is not a whole lot, as Andrew's going to go ahead and pick up that other elimination. And honestly, great job. Great round by Suny Poly. They go up 1 to Boise State's 2 as we go into this next round here.
Yeah, this is kind of where the crutch of Boise State appears, is that as soon as the enemy team has the better guns, because Boise State was going into this with 90% Spectres, whereas Suny Poly had those Vandals and Phantoms. You can see from that quick little peek at their loadout that it really paid off for them. So now with so many members even surviving, I believe they only ever lost the Viper, that they're sitting pretty with the econ. Hopefully Boise State was able to bring it back, but Shell's only having the Sheriff is not fantastic.
Not fantastic is a bit of an understatement here, as Boise State is trying not to get tied with here in the early rounds.
Yeah, this is where we know Boise State it does so strong is with these pistol rounds. But when you're taking pistols up against both assault rifles of the Phantom and Vandal, it probably won't end well. But anything is possible. As if you click on the head successfully, the utility will come up of the cluster grenade. But a great ding.
Wow!
Only able to take out one.
That ended up being a trade there, and Andrew's just going to pick them all up. When we were talking about mechanical skill, Andrew is definitely the player to watch on the side of Suny Poly here. And Dreammaker's going to go ahead and take that back to even from a 4v2, and now it's just an even 2v2, but Dreammaker's sitting at about half HP there. Well, as the last player standing, things are looking pretty difficult.
Yeah, just once again, as soon as he did the jump check, turned the corner, and he was there right as he threw out his ability. But at least they were able to pick up the dead man's weapon. So hopefully this will be a much more even fight than it seems. Even though it is 2v1 with 16 HP, I mean, his name's Dreammaker for a reason.
Dreammaker's still going for it. They might be able to get this elimination around the corner. They will be unable to do that as Ray's going to go ahead and catch them out and get that elimination. Overall, a valiant effort made by Dreammaker, but unfortunately to little impact here, as Suny Poly is going to go ahead and tie things up 2-2 against Boise State here.
Yeah, and this is going to be a great replay for Suny Poly of this triple. Stay able to at least pick up one with this great Sheriff play coming out from Shells, but sadly Andrew is able to answer it with a triple. It's just absolutely brutal to see. So you know Suny Poly is feeling good. They were finally eliminated, but with only the 2 remaining members, Suny Poly is definitely losing some money. But with how many of their teammates are able to survive and get a triple like that, they can definitely buy each other those weapons, as J-Bag is going for that hard push onto B. Boise State going to try to change it up from the consistent A.
Viper wall goes down, and so does Ray as soon as they're packed in that corner there by 3 of the members of BSU here. Some ultimates are online, but Viper ult was one of them, so that'll definitely hurt Suny Poly going into this next round if ultimates are to be used by either team.
Take flight.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they're slowly coming online, can be the game changers, but already Boise State is up one, so they have to be feeling a little comfortable as the drone does come out and immediately taken down, so they know to expect as... Oh, the ult is used from the Empress of this Reyna, so it's time to just bum rush the point and get that plant down.
BSU Shells just trying to go in there and get as much damage as they possibly can. Peach is going to go around here. And trying to catch Boise State unaware definitely does that as they eliminate both Jabald and Shells on the flank here. And it looks like they're not alone as their friendly Sky is going to go ahead and back them up, leaving Boise State 1 member to Suny Poly's 3. And at this point, Panda's just got to see if they can, how many members they can take. Wow, that's insane. Taking out 2 on the 2v3. Almost did all 3, but that crouch was just a little too OP there as that final member on the side of Suny Poly just crouched out of the way. And overall, a great job by Boise State. And honestly, only having 1 surviving member is a lot better for Boise State than having 3.
Yeah, Peach with a great flank.
Huge flank.
Getting a triple, no less, but Panda coming back and being able to answer it with his own triple. He was definitely looking for that teammate to stand up, but was not able to get the fire as the recoil just kept his bullets in the same spot as he's even tried to move the gun down. It's the curse of any gun with a recoil. A great smoke is actually going to prevent the chamber snipe, but they will get scouted out, so they're going to hold it. If he just fired, he had it!
And Andrew's going to go ahead and get that first and second elimination as they have done so many times before. Again, Andrew being huge for the side of Suny Poly. If Boise State wants to win this, they've got to do something about Andrew as they are now, as Boise State is down 1 to Suny Poly's 3. 3-2.
Yeah, that Sky is very low health. Did use their ult last round, and they still came out with the win. But when you look at the side of the ult economy, it was 2-1, but J-Bag fell.
Oh, and now it is 4-2 going in here. Jabald's going to go ahead and get that spray and pray snipe there, which actually worked out in their favor. And now they're just trying to see what they can do to stay alive and maybe get some eliminations, though 4-2 feels kind of unwinnable for Boise State.
They have the Sage Res. They could even it out, but these 1 dinks coming out from J-Bald with this Sheriff are evening things out. This is where you want to see the Res come out and make it a 3v3. And speaking of the devil, here it is.
And now BSU really has to pull out some fancy stuff here, as it is a 3v3 between the two teams just because of a Jabal carry, that double kill, and then they're going to go ahead and get eliminated, which is really unfortunate as the other members all fall after, and that's why you don't walk around a corner in a straight line for the side of Boise State.
Yes, the curse of Boise State walking in a straight line that has hurt them so many times before, but this replay of Jabald with the Sheriff is definitely noteworthy of just 2 dinks back-to-back, especially through the smoke, no less. That is definitely total skill.
They just read the bullet trail, and they were like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and dink somebody, and they did. And they evened that matchup for Boise State, but then Boise State, unfortunately, all came around the same corner.
Yeah, and they only have the Astra ult in their toolbox, whereas they're going up against the 2 of Suny Poly as that Viper wall, and even the smoke comes out from the Astra. Definitely covering that rotation point, but set up around the corner. They're waiting for Boise State to push B once again.
Both teams kind of looking for each other. They haven't found each other quite yet as no shots are being exchanged. Take that back. BSU J-Bag's going to go ahead and take Peach, and then Dreammaker's going to get taken out by Ray on that Viper. So's Panda. That's a 4 versus Boise State's 2 because Ray is just out here popping off.
Enemy remaining.
Great ult coming out from the Sova able to pick up on Sage right in front of him.
Oh my gosh. Jabald is just popping off over there, getting Ray and Gutshot, leaving us now with 2v1. And honestly, I think Jabald can do it.
Recovering it.
It's going to be a quad for him if he's able to. Sky is able to even scout him out. They know he's right there. Going to have to watch out for the penetration through the wall. It's going to take a little bit of poke down to 48, but gets the spike plant down. Pretty misses the flash.
Oh no! It's not quite going to go ahead and get there, and that's another Jabald almost clutch, as Suny Poly is going to go up 4 to Boise State's 2.
Yeah, this is what we talked about at the very beginning. Boise State came out the gate very strong when they had just the skill advantage with those pistols and then the econ advantage with those Spectres, but as soon as Suny Poly got those ARs, they started to run away, and here we're going to see the great triple and a great ult with being able to shoot those arrows through the wall. But surprisingly, Jabal just came out the smoke, able to get a 2-piece. And look at the flick.
Wow. Just completely flicked into they weren't ready for that, especially after coming out of the smoke there. They were 100% not ready. And it does look like there is a timeout. So we are going to take a break here. And what do you think Boise State needs to do to turn this around?
They definitely need to be committing to that 1 point as we've seen them, but as soon as they go for a push, they're running into the same member who just holds down the trigger, and Boise State just keeps pushing right into that gunfire. You have to wait until, or at least spread yourselves out a bit, because they're constantly going in that single file, and it's been costing them dearly, which is something hopefully we can see change in the future. Or if they continue going with maybe a 3-2 push, that might be in their favor, but then they're going to be going up even against the enemy team, unless luck's in their favor and they go 3-2, but we have yet to see that.
It's pretty easy to get a triple kill when everybody's walking in a straight line, one after the other. One person goes down, there's another body right there, and I think that's Boise State's biggest problem.
Yeah, it has definitely been a issue for their rotation strats, but now we are going to see the first operator of this match be on the side of Suny Poly. So now I have to see if they'll be able to capitalize with it, because nobody on Boise State has been able to get a sniper yet. So close with that shot.
And
that's going to hit it.
That's something Boise State definitely wants to take away here, that operator.
Yeah, Boise State opens up with that Astra ult, gets the spike plant down with their traditional strat of put up the Sage wall, but gets eliminated. Back to back.
Andrew's going to go ahead and trade. W Panda's going to get eliminated. So are Pete and Jabald. And this is 1 Boise State member against the 3 of Suny Poly. And there's only so much a Sola Astra can do. So Jabag's just going to go ahead and go down. And that's Boise State has been committing a lot of ultimates to lost fights ultimately here. And it does look like Suny Poly will maintain control of that operator.
Yeah, Boise State came in very aggressive, got the spike plant down, but quickly started trading out back and forth, as we can see just how this all kicked off. The plant goes down, the wall gets taken down. There goes 1, there's 2. There's one, and there's two. Just back-to-back for Suny Poly, but at least they're trading. But then the remaining 3 members came in and just started taking out the 3 remaining members of Boise State. So not able to capitalize with those trades is definitely costing them. So at least if you're going to go down, take one with you.
And Boise State now does have the Sage Ultimate online again here. Suny Poly still has some ultimates as well here, so we'll have to see if anybody decides to use any of them, as Suny Poly is in a pretty comfortable position. Up 4-6 to Boise State's 2.
Yeah, and since they first to 13, I believe, and must win by 2, so still got plenty of Valorant ahead, but a side swap will happen fairly shortly here. I believe in the next 4 rounds is when we will see the swap happen, but first blood with that operator.
Peach is going to go ahead and take down Dreammaker. And that operator is really something Boise State has got to get out of the hands of Suny Poly here, or get their own.
Yeah, and that's where we need to see them start saving for the econ, because right now Boise State's been having to buy just to keep in the same tier as Suny Poly, but this operator's been making the difference.
Jabald is going to go ahead and go down, so is Jabag, and Boise State is left with a single member, and that Viper roll ended up being used to great success here. Or that Viper wall ended up being used to great success here, but to the detriment of Boise State, as now Suny Poly is going to go up 7 to Boise State's 2. And Boise State really got to turn it around at this point.
Yeah, a huge flawless coming out for Suny Poly is definitely a great morale boost for the team, and it is definitely going to be hurting Boise State, as we can just see how many members pushed right into that Viper and didn't have the vision, so she was just having free reign over all of them. Boise State not even able to utilize the one ult they have in their kit, so now it's a clean economy of 1-1, but an early snipe attempt. It's unable
Not
to
quite. Not quite, though several members of Boise State felt that bullet whiz by their heads.
Yeah, it was definitely too close for comfort, so you know they're going to play a bit slower and a bit safer. But going for that A push once again means Suny Poly can rotate around, possibly get those flanks, but
Peach is going to go ahead and get it on the shells with the operator. They're going to go ahead and get another. Peach and Poro are also going to go down, however, leaving us 3-3. Both teams having 3 in fight. Well, Boise State's going to go down 1. They're going to go down Jabald, which is huge because Jabald Rez could have turned that fight, but Andrew is also down, and Andrew's honestly one of the star players for Suny Poly. And it looks like that Viper is the last man standing for Suny Poly against 2 members of Boise State. So we'll have to see if they'll be able to take the solo Viper.
Yeah, get the spike down, so now it's definitely all of the pressure is going to be on Ray here. But with this chamber, he'll be able to snipe from very far away on top of having that long-range Phantom, but it seems it's going to be a Phantom off between possibly these 3. I do not know what gun Dreammaker has. I believe it was a Vandal last I saw it, but they're going to play back very safely by the time that they can and put Ray in an impossible position, as she can easily get pincered between these 2 agents.
Soon as they touch that spike, both of the members of Boise State are going to come out, and Ray knows that. They're waiting for them to peek that corner.
Yeah, Spike is not on their time. Wait for the econ and got it.
Dreammaker just hits the shots that they need to more, and Boise State's going to go ahead and win that round, taking a 7-3, but only with 2 members surviving. So not a giant boost to Eco, but great.
I mean, hey, it got them another round on the board, finally breaking that losing streak, and Dreammaker finished that out with a triple, so they are definitely sitting pretty for the econ. Possibly an operator for the first of Boise State might come out here if they are going to buy guns for their teammates. Take a look. He's just still sticking to that operator, and Panda sticking to his classic.
The biggest thing I want to highlight about that round was Dreammaker's patience and not peeking that corner, because they very easily could have peeked that corner before they were ready and gotten eliminated by Ray.
Yeah,
Viper
many
Wall's
times
go
in
down.
the past we've seen Dreammaker playing that Neon and rushing in, trying to get that first elimination or trade. Usually got eliminated first, so now seeing them play much slower with their team, having the ultimate, and now with the rocket can pay off.
Jabald is going to see what they can do on the side of Boise State. The rest of them coming through the window, but Jabal coming through that flank there. Shell's trying to catch some of the members of Boise State out here. They're unable to find anything there as the spike is going to be planted. Both teams 4-4.
Yeah, with spike down, pressure is on here, but Boise State's going
now 5-4.
They got the advantage, using their ults as they should. Chambers using his, and both Suny Poly is going to use theirs.
Peach is going to go down to BSU Shells there, which is absolutely great, leaving us 3 to now 4, because Gutshot is going to get Shells and punish them for that. Nobody can see through the smoke here. Jabald is going to go down, but so's Gutshot, and Boise State can afford to trade. Suny Poly can't, and it does look like Boise State's going to go ahead and win that round with 3 members still remaining, still alive, which you got to think is pretty great, trying to turn around this 7 to 4 that Suny Poly is currently in the lead of.
Yeah, now Boise State also has that Reyna ult online, so they're sitting pretty going into this next round. But if we take a look at the replay, the res came in. Boise State was able to execute their plans, even going up against the 2 ults of Suny Poly. Shells gets that first pick, and it just led them to victory there. So Boise State trying to even the odds now, getting very close to the round swap where they'll have the advantage going pistol v pistol. The Razes will trade drones, however, so RIP the drone.
Dreammaker's just trying to spray and pray through that smoke shield. If they do it right now, they'll be able to find some things. Dreammaker might get caught out here. Oh, they're going to go ahead and take out Andrew, which is huge for the side of Boise State, and then do that little clean little bounce, try to take out Peach, successfully take out Peach. And honestly, Dreammaker, thanks for letting us witness that, because that was impressive.
Simple geometry, right? Didn't check your corners either. Oh.
That felt personal. That felt a little violent and a little personal.
Hello? Did he at least see it before he fired the rocket, or was just Hail Mary?
Dreammaker's just going to go ahead and take out, decimate the team of Suny Poly here. And now Suny Poly is in the position of a solo Viper. Ray on that Viper.
With the Odin, let's go! It's totally possible. They'll hit every shot with a spray and pray LMG.
They're ready to choose violence over here. Ray is waiting in that smoke, seeing what they can do. With all the members of Boise State looking at them, they will not be able to do a whole lot, as Shells is going to get that final elimination there.
Switching sides.
Yeah, it was the round where you just spend it all or lose it all. So the Odin was definitely a Hail Mary that did not pay out, but this play coming out from Dreammaker, this is why you check your corners, kids, because they were going. Andrew walked right past and it cost them their life. And then the great bounce play is something we're normally seeing in Rocket League. But here it comes out in Valorant and leads right into the elimination with that cluster grenade.
Now Suny Poly is still up to 7 to 5, Boise State going in. But Boise State definitely has the opportunity to turn this around, especially as we go back into the pistol rounds.
Yeah, this is where we see Boise State should be able to at least even things out, possibly take the lead if they can continue such a dominating victory early on.
Oh.
Making sure to get rid of that scouting early on, and Panda even teleporting back is able to scout out the rotation from Suny Poly onto that B site. Most of the members are actually over on A.
And now Suny Poly is 4 to Boise State's 5. So this is looking pretty great for Boise State as we go in here, just because of that early elimination from Panda.
Yeah, Panda's holding it the best he can with Chamber. Her waiting for Andrews. Can see his head and gets it through the wall.
Panda's popping
Makes
off.
it 2.
Nothing but heads here. That's 3 kills for Panda just this round alone. And Boise State is still sitting at 5 to Suny Poly's 2. And you got to think, unless a miracle for Suny Poly happens here, Boise State's going to take this round and even it up 7 to 6.
Yeah, Panda's got the spike behind him. Make sure to push and eliminate these last 2 remaining members because they want to secure this econ victory, but Ray's
going to take out Greenmaker, but they are going to get traded by Shells, and honestly, that's pretty good for Boise State because they have the bodies to trade. Poro's going to take out Shells, punish them for that elimination, and Poro's just desperately trying to hold this building. They will get taken out by J-Bag, however.
Boise State got very aggressive there, and it definitely cost them those 2 lives, but they were finally able to get the wipe on those last 2 remaining members. But this, I was so waiting for that jump shot to happen for Panda. He had the lineup, but getting a headshot through the wall just by seeing the gun line, we're not playing Siege here. Like, this is so tactical, and then immediately follows it up with another. Very clean play by Panda, showing why Dreammaker is not the only Dreammaker of Boise State.
And now Suny Poly is still up 1, even though Boise State did just win the last round, 7-6. Boise State will have to win another one to tie it up, and then another one after that if they want to take the lead here. Whereas Suny Poly just is pretty comfortable, but not quite as comfortable as they'd like to be, as the Viper Wall is going to go down.
Yeah, Boise State has the Spectres, so they have the gun advantage. They just need to maintain it and not get overly aggressive as the defenders, but they also are not realizing that they are getting flanked and rotated around. So Dreammakers make sure to take the high ground. Spray and pray gets one through the wolf.
Dreammaker gets it. Shells is going to get the second one there, and Panda's going to come in, not to be outdone by any of their teams. Ray, still one of the bright spots for Suny Poly. They will get W Panda, but Shells will take out Ray. And at this point, there's just a solo member versus the 4 members of Boise State, and you have to wonder if Andrew is going to be able to take anybody out.
It's casual 1v4. He'll be fine. He's definitely got all the gear in his kit.
Not quite going to be able to take out Jabald here. Jabald is going to take that. We hear the cowbell in the background as Boise State's going to go ahead and tie this up 7-7.
Yeah, they brought it back. They were down to 4-2, and now it's 7-6. They have definitely closed this gap, and these early rounds are where they shine the most. Dreammaker taking this high ground as Suny Poly just rotated the wrong side, and that's exactly the right time to spray and pray. You picked up one, goes for a second, and Boise State just had all the angles, and Suny Poly definitely cornered themselves there, going for that rotation behind A, no less. So now they'll just go Angel Diddle right down the middle to A, get the wall so they can get that ult orb for the Sage. Boise State looking to get that res as soon as possible.
They have used that res to great effect. They've lost some rounds with it, however. Dog's going to come out, will land here, putting J-Bag in a bit of a difficult position as they just continue to back up and drop the smoke and see what they can do. But Jabald and Shells are both there to help. We'll see if they'll be able to, as Poro's going to attempt to get that spike planted. Oh!
Just came running at him.
Peach just came right around that corner with absolutely no fear, and they were immediately punished. Ray's also going to go down to W Panda, and that's 2 members of Suny Poly to the 5 of Boise State, and you have to think that Boise State's going to be able to break this tie with a win here.
Yeah, it seems that Dreammaker tried to go for another play, had the nade. Andrew's coming back with a 2-piece.
Andrew coming out here, getting Panda and Dreammaker. Attempts are being made on the side of Suny Poly, and honestly, a 3v2 is way more winnable than a 2v5.
Yeah, closing that gap, but with 30 seconds remaining on the board, they're going to need to pick up that spike, which they haven't even done yet, and get the plant down, whereas Boise State has this corner on lock. They're just going to have to push into
it. Get him, Shells. Oh, Shells got Andrew.
Wins it.
They're going to go ahead and get both of them just because they know correct crosshair placement. And that smoke did ultimately nothing there for, especially because Andrew walked out of it.
Yeah, they try to just debate with the scout, but Shells was too fast on that flick with the Reyna and able to just immediately go from scout to head and capitalized on it. And also, it was very sad for Suny Poly for their backup teammate to push through the smoke and not immediately get the refrag, as Shells was just crossing the lane, no cover. So that's just the team skills of Boise State, able to cover each other's backs. And they still have the econ advantage as they have 3 Vandals on their side.
Yikes! That's a feels bad for Panda there, but great job by Andrew as that Viper Wall is going to go down. So is the Astra Smoke, kind of reducing some visibility there. Dreammaker's going to take out Peach, leaving both teams even here as we go 4-4. But they are very weak themselves, getting healed up there. However, Suny Poly does not have that same benefit, so their Sky will remain low with Ultimate.
Yeah, perks of having that Sage, healing up after losing a very hard fight, but Dreammaker is constantly winning these Rays 1v1s. It's a hard sentence to say, hey, but Suny Poly has taken control of this B side, so now Boise State is going to become the attacking team.
And Jabald is going to get that first elimination on the gut shot, which is huge for Boise State, putting us at 3-4 going in here, as Ray will also pick up BSU Shells, playing 2-3. Jabald will pick up Ray, and that's all the members of Suny Poly down, and the spike is going to be disarmed by the side of Boise State, which you have to think looks pretty good for their eco.
Yeah, and they have the res online, not even needing to use it. Jabald coming in with a nice, clean triple here. Boise State taking the lead with a clean 2 victory right now, but if history is going to repeat itself, this might be the time where Suny Poly has been saving a lot of their econ. They can buy the Phantom and Vandals where they take the advantage, because so far Boise State has had the gun advantage the entire time.
And BSU is not willing to give up that gun advantage, so let's hope they go ahead and buy this round to try to keep things going for them, because 7-9, you just need to win 2 to get to the 13.
Panda even has the first op this time around. So big play is coming. A great wall to cut off the rotation, but they're just going to continue to bum rush. Jabal's going to have to back off as quickly as he can.
Ooh.
And use the heal.
Looks scary.
Yeah, but it is 2 ults to 2 ults here, so if Suny Poly starts popping these ults, especially with the Sky and Viper ult, these are huge game changers. Gives you the vision and blocks vision. So you can see them and they can't see you. This is the perfect push, but it seems it's just going to be waiting out the smoke and the slow.
Andrew's thinking about it. You can see the wheels turning in their head, thinking about moving around that corner, and it looks like Viper ult is going to go down, which is exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, that's where the Sky ult came to. They wombo comboed it, but Shells picks it up quick.
Oh my gosh, Shells and Dreammaker are going to go ahead and get those eliminations. And honestly, that Viper's Pit isn't getting them a ton of value right now because Boise State's not walking into it. Jabag's going to go ahead and get Poro. And that's 2v5 here as Ray's just running around their pit. And that's the first time we've seen on stream a Viper get eliminated in their own pit by an attacking. Gutshot's going to go ahead and get that double kill on Panda and Dreammaker, which they were not ready for, which is not what Boise State is looking for here, but they will ultimately win the round, taking a 7-10 in Boise State's favor. And honestly, Gutshot, great job with the double kill. Didn't end up doing a whole lot.
He did more than the rest of his team. Oh,
that's
shots.
true.
Shots. But after a double ultimate coming right through and immediately getting 2 of your members eliminated, including one of the ones that ulted, it looks very bad for Suny Poly. So it seems Boise State has definitely adjusted to this enemy team and has been capitalized on it with just their win streak right now. I believe they're what? On a 5 win streak right now, maybe even more than that. So they are just trying to clean sweep this 8 win streak. Sorry, they're just trying to show me up by those extra 3 rounds, even going for that slow push as the smoke comes out from that Astra. Panda was not able to get his operator back from the previous round as he just died so far away from his other teammates, but Poro's at half health. He poked a little bit too soon.
Suny Poly is trying to set up a push from that high ground onto the point there. And honestly, if they all push Panda right now, not enough of his teammates are there to help him out. Dreammaker's going to kind of come and see if they can do anything to mitigate that. Viper wall comes down.
Throws everything he had. Dreammaker has that off, just needs the side.
Oh.
Panda!
Taking out Andrew, taking out Ray. Peach is going to take out Panda, but honestly, trading for 2 is totally worth it. Putting Boise State and Suny Poly at 3 to Boise State's 4 as we go in.
Yeah, able to get those trades. That's exactly what Boise State needed, but not that.
Not that. Definitely not that. As we are now 3-3, which is still winnable. I have to imagine that the res is going to come out onto Shells. Shells is going to get immediately eliminated, but Jabag is going to eliminate Poro. Dreammaker is going to eliminate Gutshot, and things are still pretty even here. It does look like Jabal is going to go down there with the price, but honestly, the price of winning the round, which is pretty good for Boise State.
I mean, huge props to Suny Poly. Peach came out of that with a quad. So Boise State had to use the res in order to maintain this pressure that they were applying. And Shells got eliminated again even after being res.
Oh yeah, Peach was popping off and Shells just had a bad round. We GG go next.
Yeah, curse of resing with no weapon in hand, but the absolute panic coming out from Dreammaker of, oh, they're pushing, throw everything and run away. But Panda popping off here with the double headshot was fantastic and definitely pushed the fight in the favor of Boise State, but Suny Poly had a great push there. And if they repeat that, Boise State's not going to have that same res and utility, so it could go in the favor of Suny Poly this time, especially with the econ. But Boise State still has that op on Dreammaker, so something they're going to have to watch out for.
They do still have the Astral, so we'll see if they'll use that as the Astral smoke's going to come down. Panda playing in the smoke, kind of working. Finally finds Poro through the smoke. Lots of smoke there. There's Viper smoke, there's Astral smoke. Panda's going to go ahead and go on into it, uncaring. because they got the first elimination, leaving Suny Poly 4 to Boise State's 5, now 3 to Boise State's 4, as Panda will again get 2 eliminations and then go down themselves, as Shell's going to go ahead and get Peach, who popped off last round, which is pretty good.
Yeah, but you still got to watch out for Ray, who's just been a star player for Suny Poly consistently this entire time, except for when she ults. So now we will have to wait and see if she can continue this. They saw the quick peek, but no sniper. Astra's going to make sure to activate it immediately. We see the Viper sludge essentially just coming out to prevent that sightline. Is able to scout at least one of Shells, but make sure to just line aside it with that wall. And they have the scouting ability in denial, but the op coming in. Why did you peek? Why?
You can always tell when an op is fired because you can hear it across the map. Ray, once again,
gets it?
Ray once again is going to be one of the last members going down here. Ray's ability, what Ray brings to the table for Suny Poly is their ability to survive and be the last man standing consistently. Almost every round we've seen, Ray has been the last member killed, regardless of who wins the round, Suny Poly or Boise State. But Boise State did go ahead and win last round, putting us in a pretty good position to go ahead and win just this first map outright.
Yeah, and as we saw in that replay, it was also a bit of a misplay by Poro going into, trying to place down smokes as they were getting shot at. They didn't think they would get pushed up on, but Panda had the advantage. That's exactly what you expect, especially if you're hiding in smoke and they're getting damage on you, but Shells is just going to only go right in.
That was a little scary on the side of Shells there. Their life flashed before my eyes. Panda's going to go ahead and get that elimination, and Shells got their own elimination. Andrew's going to answer back, leaving us with 3-4 advantage in Boise State's favor here.
Yeah, perfect timing on that smoke coming out from Poro. Oh. Even able to dodge the concussion dog.
Oh!
We'll just get ran up on.
Elimination's going to go down. Panda's going to come out, and that is 1 versus 3, and at this point, you just kind of have to see what you can do, and that's Boise State winning the first map, and the crowd goes wild in the back with cowbell.
One of the few matches we've seen that actually just went to 13 and ended, so a welcome change for us, but as we head into Haven next, Boise State feeling very strong with that win, 13-7. Suny Poly came out the gate swinging, and then just lost all the momentum. Yeah. Boise State came back very quickly as soon as they learned, all right, this is how they push, this is how we counter them. They played around that Viper very hard, and Boise State was just able to counter it.
Boise State lost the first couple rounds and then just went on a massive win streak for the rest of like 13 minutes. And because of that and all that excitement, we're going to go ahead and take it to a break before we go to the next match between these two teams. And honestly, after that dominating victory and turning it around, Boise State deserves it. So we'll go to a break and we'll be right back.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We have people. It's a great time over here. We're all excited, and honestly, the mood over here is pretty great. We just won our first match, our first map, excuse me.
So many
I'm
firsts.
so excited of Valorant here, and we're looking to try to take this second map away from Suny Poly here and break the 2-1 record that we currently have and go 3-1. I am your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the action is Brenner Bear Ladd. And so we're one of the only teams that we are so grateful to have the space that we do and to have the ability for people to come here. And that completely affects players, that completely affects casting, that just fills the whole space with energy. So Brenner, if you had to describe what you think the players are going through right now with this captive audience, what would you say?
I mean, it's motivation. I mean, whenever people have encouragement and positivity around them, they're going to perform better. And we've seen that from Boise State. They just came back with over an 8-win streak when we last recapped, and that was when they were at 9. So now they were at 12? Math? No. Math. Math is hard. My brain is fried. But either way, they have to be feeling fantastic. This is one of the first times we've had a fuller arena since everything has gone down in the world. So now having more people around, it's nice to get back to the way things were when I started college here at the start of 2020, which was a very different time. So these players have to be feeling so great because for a lot of them, this is the first time that they've been in this situation. So it's a little bit of the added pressure of, all right, people are watching in person now, like we have to perform just that much better, and they have been. So keep it up.
And that first map, we cannot emphasize enough how impressive it is to come back from, because Boise State was down about 5 rounds, and then they just went on a massive win streak and just took the whole thing, and Suny Poly was absolutely not ready. So hopefully Boise State can go ahead and do that on the next map here. So the event tonight is Boise State versus Suny Poly. It is 5v5. It is a best of 3. It is the 1st to 13, and it swaps after the 12th round, which is all very, very standard for Valorant and standard for ECAC esports. We do not yet know the map going into the second round, but what are some maps that you think you might see from either one of these teams?
I would definitely expect most likely a Haven or an Icebox. They have been the maps we've seen the most, and if we look at this lineup of the maps that were actually the predetermined set, it is going to be Haven, that second map. And seeing as this is best of 3, Boise State could just win this in send this home for the night, because with how well they performed in that first map, especially finishing it out so strong, they can continue that momentum forward. But you also have to remember they came at it and won it once they were on the defense. Offense is where they lost the most rounds. So here, if they start on the defensive, they're going to have a very strong start, but have a very hard time finishing it
Keeping
out.
it.
And also a huge thing with Haven is this is a 3-point map. This is where both sides can throw a lot of things up in the air and change it very quickly to rotate between these 3 sites. It's also where we see a lot of sniping on one side of the map, and the other side of the map is, you know, shock and rush and try to hold hell against the heaven sites. So it is very much going to be, if they choose one side of the map, it's going to be commit hard to that map, because rotating through it's a straight line cut. So if the enemy team cuts you off, you have to commit to it. So now with these rosters that we're getting a look at, we're going to see the return of Jet on Dreammaker this time around. Normally we've seen it on Panda. We're also going to see the KO on Panda. Both Astras are going to come back. This time a Killjoy possible on Jabald, with Shell sticking to that Reyna that he did very well on multiple times. Whereas if we look on the side of Suny Poly, seems like they're going to go kind of a mirror match on top of bringing their own chamber, which definitely hurt them on the previous map of Bind. And they're also going to be bringing back that Sova that actually worked very well for them. They got a lot of scouting utility and an elimination with his ult, but that was all he was able to accomplish. So hopefully we'll be able to see that change going into this, because Gunshot only had maybe 2 or 3 highlights compared to people like Ray or Peach, who got multiple eliminations.
And it does look like the Astra v Astra and the Jet v Jet are going to be the matchups that we're watching here, because at some point in the mirror matchup, it's just who can play that agent better. That's something that we see across the board here. So all eyes will be on those 4 players to see who knows the abilities better, who knows the rotations better. What are you expecting to see the attacking team go for here? A, B, or C first?
I mean, it really comes down to the preference of what the teams have practiced the most. A lot of teams sometimes just run it down B, because then you can quickly sprint between C or A, depending on, you know, if you're scouting all 3 points, like 3 down, 2 on the sides, then you can say, all right, here's where the people are. That communication is so key. That's why we talk about sweaty comms. That's why you have it on a shirt, for crying out loud, because it is just that important of saying where your teammates are, keeping chatter down to a low, listening for footsteps, which is a huge thing in this game, which is why you see people slow walking around a lot of those corners. And already 2 members looking right down the middle, waiting to see where Suny Poly might go, and also who might buy a gun and might just hold on to, you know, a classic or a ghost. And it seems Boise State is favoring those ghosts.
It does look like everybody's kind of setting up around point B here, doing exactly what you said that they would do. Some hostiles were detected and agent was suppressed. Not what you're looking for. W Panda definitely trying to be careful. Doesn't know what they're walking into here. Could walk into potentially a whole team, as Boise State is spread and Suny Poly is not.
Yeah, they're going for that flank, going for the pinch on A. This is where we could see a huge bloodbath come out, and the plan going down very quick.
Panda's going to pick up Poro, they're going to pick up Ray too, and they're going to get eliminated themselves, but honestly, trading for 2, totally worth it. Jabag's going to go down after taking out Andrews. Shell's going to go down. Jabald is going to trade with Gutshot here, leaving Boise State with 2 to Suny Poly's 1, and that 1 is going to turn down to none here as Peach is going to go down. And that's first round to Boise State. Ultimately, not as clean as we would have liked, but honestly, with everybody in the same place, having 2 agents survive is pretty big anyway.
Yeah, Panda had that master flank, was able to capitalize it with a double, but Peach was able to get his own double because Boise State pushed right through the doorway and did not check their corners. This is something that I drill into even my own players in Sieges. Always check the corners. 99% of the time, they're always there, and it's always that 1% time that we see on stream of you didn't check it, and they are fall to it. But this is where we also see the value of those KOs on this map of both riding it.
Panda's just going to miss a couple shots there and not be able to get the Jet. Dreammaker's going to go down. Panda is going to eliminate Poro and Gutshot, but then Panda and J-Bag are going to be eliminated, leaving us at 2v2. Both sides are even, but Suny Poly's Jet is looking weak. So this might actually be more in Boise State's favor here, as Shells knows somebody's in the building. They just got to be careful on the approach, and just like you always harp on, check their corners.
Yeah, especially since that Jet has a shorty, will get taken out very quickly. So now a ton of overhealing for Shells. This is where he wants to get aggressive, especially since they have the early advantage. Will get scouted out and has the gun advantage, but he is going up against a Chamber, so Chamber will hit you very hard. As we can see, they already lost that 18 health and most of their armor because they were only at 50, but Chamber's even going for the long rotation over to A as both members are just waiting to see if he comes out of that corner, but he left long ago and is now going to get the plant down because he has had the spike the whole time.
And now they know that they've moved. And this is Ray again on that Chamber being the final surviving member of Suny Poly, as we expect to see here. And honestly, running to point A is the play when you're solo against two people. You definitely don't want to try to take the 2v1. You want to bring them to you. Ultimately, it will not be enough to save Ray, and BSU Shells is going to go ahead and defuse that, half of that spike, and then give the rest to Jabald there, trying to even out the Boise State eco. And that's the second round that Boise State has lived with two members, putting us Boise State at 2 to Suny Poly's nothing.
Yeah, Boise State definitely had even a person advantage. They had the health advantage because Ray on that Chamber had less than 10 HP at the tail end. You can just see from his life bar, there's nothing there. It's like a pixel of red. So it was literally, if he tripped, he would have died. So he had to use that teleport to at least try to get an angle advantage, but if one bullet lands, he fell right down. So definitely a solid attempt. Got the plant off at least, but now Dreammaker on the jet. He has the operator, and the first operator of this map can definitely secure a strong lead, especially with Boise State on the defense. This is where they perform the best, so this is where they want to get a very strong lead, so when it heads over to attack, they don't have to win too many rounds.
Panda's going to be the first one to go down, usually that's a bad change of pace for Boise State. As that Astra Smoke is going to go down, the Zova drone is going to come out. He's going to scout some people out, and Jabag is, honestly, that was pretty scary, but Jabag managed to take down 2 with them. Peach is going to take them down. Jabald is going to take down Peach, however, leaving us at 3-2. Boise State at the advantage still. Dreammaker with that up onto Poro.
He was looking at the 2 wrong sides, not in front of him, just 2 sides, and it really cost him. Tried to spray through the wall, wasn't able to get it, but instead his teammate gets the refrag, but there's only so many corners you can check, and right now Shells with these constant flicks doing so well, even going to save the up for Dreammaker. Must have so much economy. Boise State securing a solid 3-0 lead right now.
And that's exactly what Boise State was looking for, but they are a defensive team, so any lead they have now, we've got to assume will be hard fought when they switch over to attack. They've got to try to get as many rounds as they can right now, because attack is the mode that they are not as strong on against Suny Poly.
Yeah, we saw Andrew win for that last ditch push at the very start of the round. You know, shot the drone, time to push this, and simply Boise State was just able to Matrix dodge those bullets and even get the elimination through the boxes, because so many people forget that you can shoot through a lot of this terrain. Oh, bullet gets suppressed. Trades coming out from Jabag, though.
Jabag is going to get the double elimination. Jabald is going to go down. Panda is also going to go down. Poro putting in work, but will get eliminated themselves as Jabag is going to get another 2. And Jabag is just having the time of their lives this round here, doing what they can for Boise State, as we are 4-1, the single member of Suny Poly, and it is again Ray.
He's not even going to make it that far, as he's quickly eliminated by Shell. Boise State having one of the fastest and cleanest rounds there. I almost want to say they should have flawless, because Boise State used that KO as a human shield for J-Bag to get that triple. It's definitely a brutal sight to watch as we watch how this whole thing just kicked off.
The Zova drone comes out. Jamal is just going to kind of get wrecked there for a second, while the rest of the members of their team are going to go ahead and get those eliminations. And it does look like we are in a brief timeout here, as Boise State is up 4 to Suny Poly's nothing. How can Boise State keep this win streak going?
I mean, they're definitely playing to their strength of defense and Haven. This is a map that every team knows so well, especially with these 3 control points. They have predicted where Suny Poly is going to rotate so many times again and again, and with how much coverage they have of the map, they've just been able to excel on it again and again. So continue this econ advantage is get eliminations, get those trades, and hold your angles. You're the defenders. They always have to push into you. It's okay to play a little bit further back and closer together, just not in a single file line, please.
We've seen several single file lines get absolutely mowed down, and it looks like we are back in game, the timeout notwithstanding. Jabag trying to see what they can do, get some scouting done, try to get some information, which is very important. We gotta imagine that Boise State, with the Jet and the Op, they've got to do some big things here on Haven, because that is the elimination strat, is Jet with an Op on Haven. And Andrew is actually going to go ahead and just take Dreammaker out and crush those dreams for Boise State, which feels real bad.
Yeah, at least he got the ult out of it, so still have to keep an eye out for the Jet ult, as once they get the elimination, has the reset and can keep going for even a possible ace. But this one member was already eliminated. The best he can get is a quad, because you know Boise State is not going to bring a Sage on Haven for the res. Instead, a huge rotation from Suny Poly is going to go right over to CISO. Jabal's in a bad spot.
Jabal's going to go ahead and get Andrew, though, and with that ult up, that was huge.
Yeah, now he's getting a big pinch on him, trying to find the KO. Knows he's right there with it.
Gonna go ahead and get the second elimination, but will get taken out themselves. Shells will also get taken out by Ray. Jabag coming in with their own double kill, and now this is a 1v1 between Ray and the Boise State Astra, so we gotta see what we can do between Jbag and Ray here. And it might just come down to who can hit more of their shots.
Yeah, he had to teleport away. I'm so curious what Poro was doing there, because he had at least 3 shots before that Astra was even looking at him of Jbag, and Jbag's still above half health, so that potato aim definitely hurting Poro right now in that Astra 1v1, but Chambers trying his best to get secure of the point. Even is going to get smoked on. She knows he's over there, but it's going to have to go to deny the spike plant. She knows the spike's going to have to go down. Just mind games. Just looking at the angle.
Who's going to peek the corner first?
Play it slow. You'll have the audio cues, and it will just simply be a timeout clutch. Not even going to get the trade elimination right at the tail end, but
Ray's not even going to come out. Like, I want absolutely none of that. I'm going to stay in my box, and you will not get this elimination here. But feels pretty good for Boise State, who is up 5 to Suny Poly's nothing, which is one of the biggest gaps that we've seen this matchup so far.
Yeah, they have definitely been running away with it so far, proving that they're the better team on Haven so far, but they got another 7 rounds to hold this out before we swap it over.
Penguin
so now
bad.
Suny Poly definitely has a chance to bring this back now that the econ is slowly leveling out, but they continue to buy every round. It's going to be a very slow climb.
Andrew's going to get that first elimination on his shells. Dreammaker's going to go ahead and get Ray and then get right out of there, leaving both teams 4-4 with Astra and Killjoy ults online. Make that 3-4 to the advantage of Suny Poly.
Yeah, Suny Poly also has both ults compared to just the Killjoy ult of Boise State. And with all of their members rotating over to that A site, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Not good looking for Jbag here. 2v4, you got to wonder if Boise State can be able to pull this out, or if this is the end of their win streak here as the spike goes down. Jabal's going to go ahead and get gut shot. And Boise State at this point, 3v4 is a lot, 3v2, excuse me, is a lot more winnable than 4v2. So we'll see what they can pull out here, but this is still uncomfortable.
Yeah, they had to use that Killjoy ult in order to take back the site, but they still have to defuse the spike and defend against the 3 attacking members who are trying to defend the spike. So this is just going to be a game of which site to peek, and with an op scoped in, it's going to be a lot harder to hit that flick.
Jabal was looking at the wrong angle to get the eliminations there, and Andrew's going to go ahead and clutch that out. Andrew on the Sky, Andrew on the Jet. They're doing an absolutely amazing job getting all of the eliminations that they need to, and that would be the end of Boise State's, I think, 12-round win streak?
It was definitely a very dominating win streak coming off of the last map, but finally Suny Poly will break the current streak of those 5. So hopefully, as they're getting a lot of their economy back, with 3 members still alive, they should be sitting pretty, but Dream shutting it down, and the Sheriff.
Dreammaker and Jabag have had enough. Andrew's going to go ahead and get that elimination. Poro's going to go ahead and get 2, leaving us 3-3. And Boise State with that Jet ult, they're just trying to see what they can do at this point, because they thought they had it in the bag, and then I don't know what happened.
It was definitely very chaotic of a giant bloodbath, pretty much right outside of attacker spawn. Now, of course, they're all going to rotate C in. This Dreammaker is going to know exactly where they are as the spike goes down. So now the pressure is on in this 1v2 situation, and if anyone can do it, it's definitely going to be Dreammaker. They're immediately going to back off the point, and with no smoke grenades remaining, he has to go for the push because that spike is out in the open.
Oh, they're definitely just trying to lure Dreammaker to their death here, but Dreammaker's going to see what they can do. Dodge the first operator shot, which is what we're looking for here. Can't do it again, however, and Andrew's going to go ahead and get that.
Yeah, wasn't able to save at least one of those smokes, had to commit both of them just to get the one elimination with his ult. So now we will end up continuing this battle as these rounds are just getting less and less for the defenders of Boise State. Their back-to-back losses can definitely be hurting their economy as they're going to just continue to just stick with those Vandals and Phantoms, whereas Andrew still has that operator, which is something they're definitely going to have to watch out for because he was able to get such an early elimination. Quickly followed and dashing in, but no trade.
We were talking about Jet and the operator, and Andrew's using that to great effect as Dreammaker's going to get that elimination onto Ray, which is pretty nice for the side of Boise State. Peach is also going to go down to Panda, leaving Boise State at 5 to Suny Poly's 3 members, but they still have that Jet with the operator, so Boise State still has to be careful, even with the 2-man advantage. Gutshot's going to go ahead and get Dreammaker, leaving that at a 1-man advantage here for Boise State.
Yeah, Panda was able to win the KO 1v1, but now with 2 ults on the side of Suny Poly, and they have the spike. They haven't been able to push a point as Boise State has been able to answer any of their rotations with shells on that Rhea all the way lonesome by A. He's going to be rotating over soon, and hopefully a good flank will come out of it because he's been able to pull off these flanks on the previous map of Bind very well. But Killjoy has the turret on her side in the corner, so Suny Poly's running out of time. 35 seconds. Going to end up committing the Astra ult wall. Try to cut him off the best they can. The scouting arrow will scout out Jabal, so he's going to have to rotate it out and around, but turret will hopefully slow him a little bit.
We see that Sova drone come out, see if it doesn't get any information there. Andrew's kind of looking for the eliminations here with that op, is unable to find anything so far. But sometimes patience with that op is key as they're going to go ahead and get Jabal there. And Panda is going to take out Poro, leaving Boise State still with the 1-man advantage. Now 2-man advantage as Shells is going to go ahead and take out Gutshot. That's exactly what Boise State was looking for, winning the round with 3 members surviving.
Yeah, going to have to try to find that op off Andrew unless one of the other teammates was able to pick it up, but I believe that's it. Shells, yes.
There it is. They're going to go and get it.
Could have done it. Not able to do it. Sadly, no friendly fire as the defenders will win, stopping the win streak of Suny Poly for all 2 of those eliminations, making sure Dreammaker gets that sniper back on the Jet. So we take a look at this replay of the wall coming down, taking down the drone. But Suny Poly had a very good push with this Astra ult. They definitely could have taken it a bit quicker once they had that advantage because they had so many of those sidelines and Andrew even able to take down Jabal, but quickly Panda was there with the refrag, so couldn't watch every angle even though 2 members were still there. So now Suny Poly will have to have a different mode of attack. It seems that they're all going in on the A with 1 just going to watch their back through the mid as Dreammaker is already on their side of C.
And Boise State is up 6-2, so we have a little bit of wiggle room to make a couple of mistakes, but any lead that we get now will only benefit us more as we are more of a defending than an attacking team. Andrew's going to get the elimination, but trade. Panda's also going to go down to Poro here, who is still up. J-Bag's going to get Gutshot, but then get got themselves. And this is a lot of trading, leaving Suny Poly in the favorable position of 3-2 versus Boise State.
Yeah, it's 2v3, as you mentioned. It's still definitely possible, especially with a Killjoy and a Jet. And they committed the Jet ult, but pushing into the smoke when you can't see it and they can see you is not ideal. But Dreammaker with the op able to even things out. Things are so close. It's a 1v2 with the op. It's totally possible. Time is not on their side, however, so you're going to have to get aggressive. You don't want to lose the op. You might just have to save op round. I mean, it'll only put you to 6-3.
Dreammaker's thinking about it.
You can see the cogwheels turning, even finds one. Gets it.
Gets the shot.
Run for your life.
They are going to save the op, which is exactly what they were looking for, and they got the couple of eliminations to compensate for it. That was the safe play, putting Boise State at now 6-3, up 3 against Suny Poly.
Yeah, losing that op is definitely a hard hit for her Dreammaker on that jet, but at the same time he realized, I'm not going to make it out of this radius, so let's just put down the spray and enjoy the last few seconds. But a great flick shot onto Poro, who has been probably the least performing member of their team, but has provided so much utility with both their ult and smokes that has allowed their team to win those 3 rounds. Doing very well, but now even a judge coming out, Dreammaker is looking to cause some bloodbaths.
Dreammaker is really mad about that last round there, and is trying to see what they can do. Is going to be unable to get any of the eliminations, walking into 4 members. So Boise State is going to go down 2, down 1, down 2 again, and we are now down 4. As Panda is the last member remaining, as the rest of Boise State just kind of walked into the enemy lineup there.
Yeah,
but W Panda's going to get that elimination onto Ray. Not going to be able to get it against Andrew there. Was too low HP after the rest of the duels that they won. But only 3 members living is better than the alternative of 4 or even 5 members living. So ultimately a great job by W Panda as the final surviving member. This was Dreammaker's. I think they thought there were fewer of them than there actually were there. Like, I don't think they knew they were going into all 4, which is why information in Valorant is super, super important. As we go into this next round, Boise State is still up 6 to Suny Poly's 4.
It's definitely going to be hard, that judge not having the rate of fire that he needed in order to take on 2 members. No less how many just shots he dumped into the enemy team. Shells will end up being suppressed as, of course, Andrew turns the corner, able to pick it up.
And then Shells is going to get out of there after getting the elimination, and Dreammaker's going to go in, get the trade.
No charges.
Quickly over, but 3 members all have their ults, and Chamber will end up using his, and a great shot
by Shells on the gut shot there, leaving Boise State up 1 at 3-2. As Jabald's turret's going to go down, see what they can do there, just kind of camp that corner. And Ray's just going to get the snipe onto Shells, evening things up 2-2.
Yeah, laid out by the Chamber sniper, and then even getting pinched, the spray's going to come out. 30 health.
Bomb grenade out.
Have both ults. This is where you want to use them. You only got 2 rounds to do so.
1 enemy remaining.
W Panda getting the elimination on the Poro is huge, but there's still an op in play for the side of Suny Poly here, which is very scary for the members of Boise State.
Suppressing a Chamber is exactly what you want, even pushing him, going for the melee.
Will end up getting eliminated there. Ray is the last member standing for Suny Poly, as always.
Yeah, so very secured round for these 2. It says Panda survived? He must have ulted to stay alive through that. Just went for the melee rush, but impressive by Boise State.
Round in the half.
Now with 4-3 ults, and this is the last round before swap, I expect everybody to be pressing X, if only right off the bat, just to try to get those early eliminations. As we take a look at this replay, I would love to see that KO's perspective as he's just bum rushing with the knife, and even gets the spray through the smoke onto Poro. Gotta be feeling good.
And this is the last round before the swap, going in Boise State with a lead of only 3, 7-4 here as we go in. Putting Boise... Dreammaker getting the elimination onto Andrew is huge. The Sova drone is going to come out. It's going to be able to kind of find Dreammaker with the knives. Ray's going to eliminate Jabal. Jabag is going to go ahead and take Ray's life for that, leaving Boise State up 1. Now up nothing as Gutshot's going to get Jabag, and this is an even matchup between both of the teams. No longer even. Panda's going to go ahead and take out Poro, putting Boise State up 1, up 2, up 1, which is exactly what we want to see here, even as Shells is going to go down.
1 enemy remaining.
Absolute bum rush.
Oh,
Gutshot.
no!
He gets it.
Oh, that was the worst. Gutshot's going to go ahead and clutch watch that, and that can honestly not feel more accurate. The members of Boise State just walked down that hallway trying to get aggressive, and Gutshot knew exactly where they were at and just took both of them out even through the jet smoke.
Yeah, Panda was absolutely popping off on this KO. Dreammaker still had their ult, no less, and they just walked right into the sidelines of Gutshot after he takes down Shells. Even the smoke coming out barely too far. Surprised they were not able to even spray in the corner at all. They were just waiting for a clean sideline, and it cost them dearly.
Sometimes just a couple of bullets. Doesn't have to be the elimination, but especially when there's two of you, sometimes a couple of them can mean the difference between winning and losing the round. Putting us at the swap at Boise State, still in the lead with 7-5.
Yeah, it seems Panda's going to be the only one to buy a pistol this time around. Everyone else sticking with those classic and ghosts. As they go for a whole single file push up to C, learning from the Boise State strat, even dashing it.
Are going to be forced to teleport away there. Shells will be first blood with Peach immediately coming after, leaving both teams 4-4 with a weak member on each side. Panda knows someone's in that building. They're just deciding whether or not they want to push it there. They decided they didn't. Panda, Dreammaker, and J-Bag are all going to go down in quick fashion. 2 to Poro, who's been huge for the side of Suny Poly, leaving Boise State down 3, and Jabal just kind of in a corner.
Yeah, he was covering the flank and was not able to follow up the rest of his team, who got quickly dismantled by the rotating members of Suny Poly now on the defense. So Jabal just might have to go for save econ around here, because in a 1v4 situation, at least 2 of them are low health, but if they just rush you, this will not end well. So peeking is not ideal, especially when now they know you're there and will start to pinch you.
Left.
As you can see, Poro rotating through the mid.
This was Jabal decided they wanted to go out fighting. They are going to do so. Go ahead and get Gutshot, which was not even one of the low health members here. Jabal might be able to get another elimination. It's unlikely they will be able to get all 4. And that's going to go ahead and go down. 4v1. Feels hard at the best of times, unwinnable at the worst there.
Yeah, it was definitely just nonstop poke festive, just, all right, I look, shoot, I look, shoot, I look, shoot. And when you become just that consistent, people can just time their shots, and that's how they end up falling there for the Killjoys. Poor Gutshot, though, just peeking in the corner at the wrong time.
Correct crosshair placement will get you a lot of eliminations, especially when you're trying to like jiggle peek those corners exactly like Jabal was doing. It didn't end up working well for them, but they got the single headshot elimination, which gives them style points. Oh!
The one time a shotgun's worked so far, Dreammaker makes it work with the smoke.
Gunshot was not ready. Didn't even have time to turn to look at that.
Trust. He wants that Spectre, isn't able to pick it up. But
Peach is going on a rampage on the members of Boise State here, now leaving us at the disadvantage of being down 2. One of our own members, both of our members now weak. As W Panda's going to take Peach out, which is big, but then Ray's going to take out the final 2 members very quickly. And even though Peach was eliminated, you got to think that round went to them with the triple kill.
Yeah, it was mainly 2 members of Suny Poly who were able to just carry their team through that round, and that was Peach and Ray on that chamber at the tail end, just jumping, not even jumping through the window, just shooting straight through the wall and eliminating both of them. Classic Boise State, hey, weakness of they stick too close together, lined up right on top of each other, so bullet penetration has been hurting them the most. And once again, going for that judge strut right down the middle. See if Dreammaker can make it happen.
Now we are tied up, Boise State 7 to Suny Poly 7. Dreammaker trying to see what they can do here as they're brought down to a little bit less than half HP, and they're just going to go down to Gutshot there as Shells is seeing if they can sneak around and maybe catch somebody out. Nope, Ray's going to eliminate Jabag. Gutshot will be eliminated, as will Shells, and it looks like we are now put in the situation of Boise State down 2 yet again.
Yeah, it seems Suny Poly is coming alive on this defense, and Boise, he has not had a single answer for them. So Boise State loses the lead, and it's now 8-7.
Boise State's going to lose the lead for the first time in a while here as we go next. And Boise State, to turn this around, what do you think they have to do?
Stop walking in a single file? That definitely hasn't been the issue for them on that previous round. As we take a look at this replay, they all went for that mid push. They were right behind Dreammaker with the shotgun, but he simply died to so many status effects on the ground, getting poked down ever so slightly that he just couldn't take that much damage over time anymore. Instead, he's just going to go for the Sheriff long-range elimination. Pokes the damage down, but did not land any of his shots. Instead, will just end up losing that 30 HP. So it seems that they're going to still try to go for a C push, but this time a little bit more through the mid, not through the long hallway.
Oh, Panda with first blood there onto Ray.
Good start. Is exactly what they need.
Peach being the second elimination here. We'll see what we can do.
Spike down. C.
Yeah, his ult really coming in right now. Very low health. Needs that res, but as long as one member remains.
Boise State now in the favorable position of being up 3.
Oh no. Panda suicide with his own nade.
And now we're just up 2, which still feels pretty good. Now we're just up 1, which this is getting steadily more and more uncomfortable as Boise State's lead this round just diminishes as Poro takes them down. BSU Shells is going to finally get it, and that feels good for the side of Boise State. They're a little bit more uncomfortable than we would have liked. Didn't get as much eco as we would have liked, but we are going to go ahead and take that round, tying things back up 8-8.
Yeah, and the ult economy is now even with the 1-to-1, but of course, right as Dreammaker pushes up, they're able to get the 2 first eliminations very quickly with Panda taking down Ray, and this poor KO has their ultimate. Will not be able to utilize that as he's surrounded by all 5 members, but it seems Haven is also Poro's map. They did quite bad on Bind, but they have just come alive on this map with this Astra. So now with their ult, I'm curious what they will be able to achieve, especially on defense, because attack they had a rough time, but we're still able to get a lot of eliminations.
Poro's looking at the enemy team right now and doesn't even realize it because of that smoke there. Dreammaker's going to go ahead and put down some more smoke as Boise State is trying to push here. Shells is going to go down, but so is Peach, leaving both teams even. Poro's going to go down, or Poro's going to get the elimination, excuse me, on the Dreammaker and J-Bag, but then get eliminated themselves, which is what Boise State was hoping for, but is a little bit less even than a trade, leaving Suny Poly up 1 with 3 to Boise State's 2.
Yeah, even committing the Killjoy ultimate, Boise State is able to at least secure her A and get the plant down, but now Suny Poly on the defense, having the 3-member advantages, is going to have to push right into them.
Andrew's going to get the elimination on the Panda. Not what we were looking for. They're going to get it on Jabal too, and that op is scary, especially when you peek corners like that.
Yeah, you never want to peek an op. You want to hold your corner and wait for them to, you know, attempt a jump shot around the corner, or maybe you just go for the blitz if you could be the jet and just dash right through it. But Andrew with this op has definitely been popping off at a 16 and 10. Andrew's definitely been one of the highlighted players for Suny Poly as we take a look back on this replay. Killjoy just finished, and this is where we see Suny Poly execute their attack plan where Boise State kind of fell apart.
Boise State was up a couple, the Sova drone came out, and then the op came out, and that just was the end of their fate there, Andrew and the op. And that's to be expected with a jet on the op on Haven. That is the elimination strat. Andrew's just been using it to huge, devastating effect that Boise State doesn't really have an answer for.
Yeah, so now using the dagger to scout out, sees the chamber is there, so it will slowly make him rotate out of point, but he's immediately right back, and the remaining members of Suny Poly are going to rotate over. Dreammaker goes right in, but no one is there to meet him, but the op is there, so he wants it, he's going after it.
Both teams trying to kind of find each other as this is about to turn into a bloodbath here with people exchanging shots. Dreammaker will be first blood, gut shot will go down immediately after, so will Shells. Peach is also going to go down, leaving both teams even, and that op, man, that is scary. Somebody's got to take that out of Andrew's hands there, or quit peeking it.
Yeah, such a quick triple coming out for Suny Poly as they just collapse at the right time, and members of Boise State could not pick an angle to hold as they were just getting pinched on C so hard. They didn't have any cover for their own, so this is definitely where ASH could have benefited them, cutting off some of those silence and rotation points with that wall. Boise State is definitely feeling the hurt now as Suny Poly has a almost commanding lead with how hard they have come back.
If Boise State wants to take this without extra rounds, they're going to have to win these next couple of rounds and do a flawless just kind of lead in over the attack, which we've seen them do. We've seen them go up massive leads before, but they're going to need to pull that out and find that within themselves right about now as we are down to 8 to Suny Poly's 10, almost 3 rounds away from winning this second map and taking us to a map 3.
Yeah, we initially wanted Boise State to have, you know, just a clean 2-0 victory, but now going for the exact same strategy. Yep,
Andrew's going to take out Gutshot. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's an early elimination, definitely in their favor, and gets the spike down, so pressure's on Suny Poly as they're down 2 members. Looking much better for Boise.
Boise State doing a much better job of successful aggression, getting the 2 eliminations that they need. Sometimes it just doesn't go their way as they're going to rotate, and both teams are kind of missing each other at this point.
Yeah, they got the spike out in the open so they can just hold long and wait for Suny Poly to push it, but they're going up against Andrew on that Dream or on Jet with that op, so it's going to be a huge issue, but it looks like he's swapped it out for a fan.
Yikes, Andrew still gets that first elimination there. Peach and Jabal are going to go ahead and also eliminate, leaving Suny Poly down 1 and Boise State up 1. And the attackers are going to go ahead and win that as Peach eliminates themselves.
Yeah, just wasn't able to get away from the spike in time, so that makes Boise State up even further in the econ after a very good win. But looking at how this all started off with such a great elimination and on to Gutshot on this C point, Boise State executed their plan much better than they did in the previous round. Got early elimination, immediately got the second onto Ray, which puts Suny Poly on their back foot so much earlier. And Andrew was not able to capitalize with the op, so he just had to save.
Boise State now kind of evening things up a little bit more, 9 to Suny Poly's 10 here. If Boise State wins this next round, we can tie it up. If Suny Poly wins, they go closer to taking us to a map number 3.
Yeah, so Boise State can definitely bring this back, and with an early elimination of Poro.
That's pretty big. The Astra v Astra getting the elimination there, especially getting the ultimate off.
So there goes the flashbang of Peach, losing that utility as all members of Boise State push in.
Shells going down is definitely not what you want to see. You definitely don't want to see J-Bag go down either. Peach is just popping off. Just going to go ahead and get that triple kill and get the 1 round. Taking the lead up to Boise State 9, Suny Poly 11.
Yeah, so Suny Poly can win it in these next 2 rounds unless Boise State is able to execute a different plan other than that consistent C push. They went for new A push and immediately got taken down. They got the trade early on, but Andrew came in with his ult, takes down 1, and KO took down another of Peach, so Suny Poly played that very well, and now they have the Sova ult going into the Killjoy ult, so Boise State, if they get the spike down, will be able to hold it for that much longer.
You got to think that Boise State is not being very adaptable or adjusting their strategies as both teams are going to trade, sitting us at an even 4-4, both Sova and Killjoy ults still online.
Yeah, Dreammaker sticking to this judge, holding that middle window, waiting for one of the members of Suny Poly to push right into him as his teammates rotate through it. So if he can hold it, he just doesn't have the sight line. There goes the drone.
Dreammaker knows they're in the building here, trying to watch their corners and hopefully catch them off guard instead of getting caught off guard himself here as he waits around that Jet corner. And Gutshot knows he's there too, and they're each waiting for the other to peek the corner, so we'll see what goes on there as both teams are even.
You should run.
Waiting for that spike plant. There goes the Killjoy down. Time is on to leave the space.
Andrew trades with Panda here. Jabag's going to get the eliminations, leaving us back at 3-3 with Boise State. Jabag being very weak as the spike is going to be initiated and planted.
Yeah, he was barely... He shrugged off that Sova ult, hit by 1 of the arrows, but not 2 of them, as you need 2 to secure that kill. 22 HP remaining.
Dreammaker.
Also, Dreammaker at 10 has the master flank, though. With the judge, might not be the best idea.
And they know Dreammaker is there. And one of the keys to a successful flank is they can't know that you're there, as both teams are kind of like looking at each other, poking the corners here. Jabald and Gunshot are gonna, Peach is gonna go ahead and get them. That's 10 HP and one.
The with the shotgun!
Dreammaker with 10 HP, just gonna get both of those eliminations there and win the round. And honestly, great job. That was impressive.
Living up to his name
Wow.
is the least I can say right now, because that was a fantastic play. Hey, the two members of
awesome.
Boise State definitely held their attention where they were never looking behind where they came from, even gave up on the mid because they thought he would have rotated through the side all the way around. But no, he was just following him behind the whole time, and KO never even decided to look until it was too late. And that judge came in so clutch.
Doesn't
Dreammaker.
even have to fully peek the second corner there, as Dreammaker's gonna go try to scout and use their ultimate here. Boise State 10 to Suny Poly's 11. Boise State can take this.
It's definitely a possibility, closing the gap. They just need to win by 2, so we're already at least gonna possibly
That's
have
bad.
overtime if they could win here.
That's good. Boise State up 1 here.
Yeah, getting the spike, playing down, trying to cut off the rotations. You know Suny Poly's gonna rush right into you for A. This is the side they definitely feel super comfortable with.
Panda's gonna get that elimination on the gut shot, taking us up another one, which is absolutely huge for the size of Boise State, who could potentially end up tying this up and then winning if they can win the next couple rounds. And we didn't even get C-Map 3.
Yeah, Andrew going for a super long flank all the way between B and C when the spike's on A. I guess we're just saving now as Chambers looking for a little cheeky pick if they get too aggressive, but it seems Suny Poly is just going to say, hey, we
don't
respect
walk
a
into
solid
it.
dog.
No, Panda, no.
You're
They're
the
going to walk
defenders.
right
You
into
have the
Ray.
spike. You hold your corners. It's okay, but Phantoms will prevail for Boise State on the attack. A very solid round. We're headed into overtime.
The next team that wins something is going to take us into possibly into overtime. We might see another 18 to 16 matchup here tonight, Brenner.
Woo! It's only on the second map. But Boise State's trying to win it here. As we mentioned at the start of the second map, we've got a full arena right now of people watching this game. So the pressure is definitely on for Boise State, not to mention just to win and not become a 2-2 team. They want to be a 3-1 team. They can definitely make it happen on Haven. They have a ton of practice on this map as it's one of the most plays. Even scouting out early on, they know Andrew's there. They just don't know how close he is.
Ray getting the elimination onto Panda. Things are not looking good for Boise State here.
Down but not out as he's waiting for the push. Dreammaker no longer on that judge, rotating over to C, so it is going to be the 1v1 between him and Gut. C!
Oh, big! Boise State now up 1 instead of down 1, which is what we're looking for here. Both sides still have their jet. Andrew's going to take that out and even things out 3-3, but with how weak Shells is, you got to think this might be in the advantage of Suny Poly.
Yeah, and with this Killjoy having the spike, C is mostly clear, but finally they rotate through the mid, so the jet cannot even clear. It will get scouted out, though, by Shells. They have a chance. Jabald gets one.
Oh, big! That's Boise State up 1, and Shells still sitting at 23 HP, trying to run away from the enemy of this. Big! Boise State might be able to take this. Just got to find the jet.
You know he's corner
seconds
camping.
left.
He's exactly where you sit all the time. It's the jet 1v1. No, just shoot through the wall. He's right there. Even
Now they
trading
both
with the
know it.
turret. Oh, the melee! The BF coming out for the melee doesn't even get it. That's impressive nonetheless. If he right-clicks, that should have been an instant kill with a backstab, but will not get it. So now he's going to have to try to find the spike. Does find it. Is going to have to go for the defuse.
Andrew, no.
Pressure's on. It's 3v1. He's going to get it halfway.
no. I need you to stop, Andrew.
right.
Thank you, Jabald. I was just waiting for somebody to get Andrew there, 3v1. But man, getting halfway to the defusing, that was more uncomfortable than Boise State would have liked. But they did go ahead and win that round, putting us 12-11.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the longer matches. So now we will have to wait and see if Boise State can close it out as it is 12-11. If they win this match, that will be it, and we will not head to a map 3, but Suny Poly wins the next 3 in a row. They will take it. They do have 2 ults on their side, so it's going to be the Astra v Astra ult paired with the KO Selfres if he can sustain.
No! Dreammaker going down first is absolutely not what we're looking for, but Poro going down first for the side of Suny Poly is definitely ideal. Now we just need to hard focus Andrew on that jet, and I think Boise State could have this in the bag.
Yeah, so now the Battle of A begins. They are even. It's just great time to use Killjoy ult to also prevent great zoning mechanic, and here it comes, so.
Oh no! Shells tried to go after the jet, walking around the corner in a straight line. Andrew's gonna get the elimination on DeBald, leaving Boise State 2-3, and it looks like now we are 1v3, 1v2. Things are looking maybe winnable for Panda. Very scary, but possibly winnable. Now definitely winnable. There it is, Panda! Gonna go ahead and win that match for Boise State there, just by the skin of their teeth, and man!
A well-deserved clutch at the end, no less. 1v2 situation, gets them both.
Boise State with the clutches tonight has been absolutely insane. I mean, obviously we have to mention Panda because they just got the last clutch, but we also saw some fantastic clutches by Dreammaker when we didn't think they were going to be able to do anything, honestly, and I have never been more happy to be wrong, as Boise State's going to go ahead and pick that up 2-0, which feels a little deceptive because that was a very close matchup.
Yeah, the first map was very much in Boise State's favor. As soon as they got on the defense, they were just clean swept defense practically. Suny Poly was not able to match them on bind, but once it got over to Haven, it was neck and neck. I mean, these teams went up to 11-11, and then finally Boise State is able to just edge them out on those last 2 rounds. And I mean barely, like barely. So huge props to Boise State for being able to win that out, and that is definitely a huge win for them, especially against Suny Poly. So now they're 3-1, looking very good going into next week.
Versus Suny Poly, who is now 2-2 and will be put in a different bracket. And I have to ask, for player of the game, who do you think had the best highlight reel tonight?
That's really hard because so many members had, you know, a double, a triple, a couple quads even, some just really nice plays that came in. And across the 2 maps, each player had their moment to shine. Normally we love to highlight Panda because they've just been such a standout.
Yep.
Also, Dreammaker on the jet. I respect the judge plays so much. I have to give it to Dreammaker for the judge.
The Dreammaker judge play was fantastic. They peeked around that corner and nobody was ready for them. So as we go into the next player of the game, is there anybody that you would nominate from Suny Poly?
Peach, 100%. He did so well, and of course we will give it to Panda. Of course it's going to be Panda. I mean, they did so well. They definitely single-handed clutched at least 2 rounds, and also with this amazing chamber play was absolutely fantastic of, you know, jump headshot, I see your hand, I'm going to shoot your head through the wall perfectly. Was an absolute pleasure to watch. So, well-deserved Panda.
For the side of Boise State, it was definitely a toss-up between Panda and Dreammaker. Ended up being Panda. And the player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player like Panda makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Panda is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And honestly, after that last clutch winning map number 2, could it really have been anybody else?
I mean, fair enough. He definitely was the pop-off player. But again, as you mentioned, highlight Suny Poly. Peach did very well. Ray did very well in the beginning. On top of that, Poro came alive in the last half of Haven after doing very badly. Gunshot had their moments, but was very consistent and got their team a lot of scouting with that Sova. So Suny Poly still has a lot of notable things and some things to improve on, as they did end up losing at the end. But as the game went on, they improved and improved. So Suny Poly can definitely come back and fight Boise State later on in this tournament.
And I think if they do come back to fight Boise State later on in this tournament, and if they want to try to win, Andrew is going to have to be a big player that they focus on, especially on that jet, on that Haven, with that op. We were talking about it, and Boise State did not get a ton of value out of that strategy, but Andrew sure did for the side of Suny Poly there. And before we close out the night, we do have our top 5 plays, and our top 5 plays are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. From all of us here at Boise State Esports, thanks for joining us. Be kind, be safe, wear a mask, and come down to the stadium sometime.
Pistol v pistol. The Razes will trade drones, however, so RIP the drone.
Dreammaker's just trying to spray and pray through that smoke shield. If they do it right now, they'll be able to find some things. Dreammaker might get caught out here. Oh, they're going to go ahead and take out Andrew, which is huge for the side of Boise State, and then do that little clean little bounce, try to take out 4 to Boise State's 5. So this is looking pretty great for Boise State as we go in here just because of that early elimination from Panda.
Yeah, Panda's holding it the best he can with Chamber. Her waiting for Andrews. Can see his head and gets it through the wall.
Panda's popping
Makes it
off.
2.
Nothing but heads here. That's 3 kills for Panda.
Out before we swap it over.
Penguin
so now
grab.
Suny Poly definitely has a chance to bring this back now that the econ is slowly leveling out, but they continue to buy every round. It's going to be a very slow climb.
Andrew's going to get that first elimination on the shells. Dreammaker's going to go ahead and get Ray and then get...
That would be the best idea.
And they know Dreammaker is there. And one of the keys to a successful flank is they can't know that you're there, as both teams are kind of like looking at each other, poking the corners here. Jabald and Gunshot are going to... Peach is going to go ahead and get them. That's 10 HP and one... Two after the jet, walking around the corner in a straight line. Andrew's going to get the elimination on Jabald, leaving Boise State 2-3. And it looks like now we are 1v3, 1v2. Things are looking maybe winnable for Panda. Very scary, but possibly winnable. Now definitely winnable.